Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Phebe Trotman. She is an entrepreneur, athlete, champion for personal growth, and author. She is the author of Never Quit on a Bad Day. Welcome to the show, Phoebe.
Thank you so much, AJ. It's an honor, and I'm so excited to be here with you today.
You are welcome to the show, coming straight from Canada, if I understand it, live from Canada. And we are, welcome to the show, welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are talking about. We'll be talking about navigating tough times. And so my first question is, you have written this book, Never Quit on a Bad Day. There have been so many sayings on quitting and winning. A quitter never wins, a winner never quits. And you talk about never quit on a bad day. Why should anyone quit on a good day, Phoebe? Help us understand this.
Absolutely. Well, because typically when we quit on a bad day because we're full of emotion. And it's usually those negative emotions. We're frustrated, we're disappointed, we're disheartened, we're angry, like so many emotions that run through us. And that's a lot of times when people quit, they're just frustrated. Maybe they're going after a goal and they're not seeing the results fast enough. And so they're frustrated with that. And that's when they typically quit. When it's pushing through that on the other side of it, that's where the greatness is. That's where we grow. And so if you're going to quit, and I talk about this in the book, if you're going to quit on a good day. And what I mean by that is quit on a day where you're going into making that decision on a level head, and you're not making the decision based on negative emotions. You're making that decision because it's the time to move forward. And when you're going to quit something on a good day, make sure you're transitioning into something else. You're not just quitting, you're moving forward into something else. And when we do that, that's when we can look back and realize that that was a stepping stone. And we did that from a place of, peace with our decision, in a place of we are looking forward when we made that decision versus quitting on a bad day when it's just loaded with emotions. And usually sometimes it can be something we regret.
Right, Phoebe. So I want to understand, when did you think about this book? Because your life is a story full of success, entrepreneur, athlete, even, in your career as a network marketer, top awards you have received and recognition within your company. And now, so you are in a very good place. I know every journey is full of its own difficulties and a lot of hard work. But writing a book on this subject, what is it that happened that you realize you have got to write this book and not any other book?
It's interesting because it wasn't necessarily a goal of mine. If you asked me this last year, would I have written a book? I probably would have said no, because it wasn't something I necessarily had a vision for my life. However, I do love helping people. And I was with some friends and we were talking about what next. And I shared with them that I've had it on my heart for years to create something to help and inspire. I've been mentored by so many people, and they were the ones that suggested I write a book. And I kind of hesitated a little bit, and they kind of shared with me, because for some of the stuff we talked about earlier that evening, they shared that writing a book isn't about me. It's about the people that I can help and the people that can benefit from it. And so when they spun it like that on me, then I realized, what, maybe it is something I should consider doing. And then I knew that if I wrote a book, it had to do two things. Number one, it had to help people and inspire people. And number two, I also had to be passionate about what I was writing about. And the month before, I had an incredible honor of being inducted into a Coquitlam Sports Hall of Fame. And in that, we had an interview, and there was a conversation, and the interviewer asked me, what has sport given me? And I shared that I've had so many incredible highs from sport, championships and player of the year awards and different things like that. However, the only reason I was able to have those highlights was because of the tough stuff, the getting cut from a team, sitting on the bench, getting only 5 minutes in a game, recovering after injury, like those late night trainings, those early mornings. So a lot of the stuff that I went through to get to those highs. But oftentimes we don't talk about that. And that's when I realized that that's what I was passionate about. That's what I wanted to write a book about, was sharing some of the tough stuff that people go through so that people realize they're not alone. Even though you see those highlights and you're reading my bio and saying, there's all these successes and I'm so grateful for them. Yet there was a lot of tough times. There were times when I was crying. There was times when I was frustrated. There's times when I wanted to quit and I was questioning, is it worth it on this journey as an entrepreneur? Is it worth it? Why am I doing it? And so I want people to realize that they're not alone in those challenges. And when we do certain things to mentally prepare and be focused on where we're going, then that can help us navigate some of those tough times and those curveballs that life can throw at us, because we're all going to face those tough times. We're all going to have those curveballs. It's what do we do with that and how do we navigate through that?
Right, Phoebe, right. You talked about that there were times when, you almost thought about quitting. And this happens with a lot of. But many people, succumb to that moment for whatever reasons, for, lack of support, lack of people to talk to, or maybe the lack of hope. What
Mhm.
is it that did not let you quit? What was the reason for you to carry on? With this question, I want to get to the audience the point, that what is it one can look for in their lives whenever they are thinking of quitting? Because either it's in personal relationships, even in life itself, people take that difficult decisions. Many are very lonely, they don't get any help, they seek out help, people don't understand them, and very sadly they come into the juncture that they find that it's the end of the road for them. That's how they think. They are not able
Mhm.
to hope, you know uh, hold on to any hope. So I want to understand from that point of view. Athlete goes through many different emotions. You got to be physically very strong and mentally super strong.
Absolutely. And I do share some of the strategies that I recommend that people look at doing and developing in the book. We cover a lot of different exercises. The one that I want to share tonight though is really something I call my dream day. And one of the things that I realized in the stories that are shared in the book, everybody had clarity in terms of what they wanted their future to look like. Because oftentimes when we're going through something tough, it's if you have a vision for where you're headed, even when those bumps in the roads happen, it can help you refocus. It can help you stay on track. And so I do an activity. I call it my dream day. And I did this. First time I was ever introduced to it was many years ago. I was nowhere near living my dream day, and it's really just an activity where from the moment you think about what does a dream day look like for you, and so from the moment you open your eyes first thing in the morning to the moment you close your eyes at night, what do you do on that dream day? Who do you enjoy that day with? What do your relationships look like? What about financially? What do your finances look like? What about in terms of your environment? Where do you enjoy that dream day? Are you by the beach? Are you in the mountains? Are you at home with friends and family? What did your finances look like? And so you go through these activities and these exercises, and I actually created a workbook based on this to help people go through that, or just grab a pen and paper and a journal and really take some time. The key with writing your dream day is you want to make sure you're writing in present tense. So you want to write it as if you're living it, and then you want to get in those feelings of what does it feel like on that dream day. And the reason I encourage people to do that, regardless of where you're at right now, is it does give you hope. It gives you something to focus on, because again, when you have that clarity, when those bumps come in the road, it allows you to refocus. Like I called my dream day literally my lighthouse. And on the front of the dream day workbook is a picture of a lighthouse, because that's how I've used it in those times when I was questioning, is it worth it? What am I doing this for? I'm pulling my hair out. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. My business isn't growing as fast as I wanted it to. I was able to refocus and think about that dream day and realize that everything I was going through right now is helping me. As long as I keep moving forward, it's helping me move forward to having that dream day and experience it. So I really encourage listeners to do that activity. Really, again, just get a notebook, take some time. You want to be in a quiet space because you really want to feel, again, from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you close it, what do you experience? If you're looking for a little bit more help and guidance in doing that, then I do have the Never Quit on a Bad Day workbook. It's a workbook, a guided workbook for creating more good days that you can get on Amazon. And in that, it goes through a little bit more detail of helping you with those prompt questions on how to really write your dream day and craft it. Because I do know when you have that vision, it'll keep you going.
Right. So, who is this book exactly for? Is it a particular sort of people, business people, individuals, a women centric book? athlete centric. Help us understand so that people know, okay, this is what this book is for.
For sure. So the book is called Never Quit on a Bad Day: Inspiring Stories of Resilience. And this book is really for anyone who's had a goal and they felt a little bit delayed in that goal. Maybe they've been frustrated on their track to goal. It's for entrepreneurs if they are an entrepreneur. It's for people who just have goals and dreams and hopes, because in it we do share stories from people who are going after a goal or a dream. And this book is the Thriving Entrepreneurs Edition, but it's not a business book. There's some business strategies, sure, in some of the stories, but it really is a book for anyone who just wants a little bit more encouragement, wants a little bit extra support, wants some strategies to learn so that when they're going through tough times, they have something to fall back on. Because in this book, I actually just got another review from someone. They said that they loved it because it helped them like kind of remember what they're passionate about, because it really is a book that's designed for the reader, for that reader to get extra inspiration and hope and encouragement and support so that they know they're not alone, and just to help them dream again, and to remember what are some of those dreams and what are some of those goals that they're going after. So it's for anyone who fits in any of that I just shared, really anyone who wants some encouraging words.
Absolutely. Phoebe, you talked about goal. How does you, and you are athlete, so you know it better. How does one set their goals? Because when you are into this whole mood of achieving your goals, there will be setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you look? You look at the setback for the goal. How do you decide your destination? How do you keep your motivation alive? How did you do it in your case? Because a goal may still be, you can revise it, you can recalibrate it, but people take goals as the destination in life, their destiny in for themselves. How would you like to put it?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I feel like the dream day is so powerful of an activity is because it's tied to just what you want to enjoy. And then you can work backwards from that. So the way that I set goals is I have my dream day. I know what I want that day to look like, what I want to experience. And then I look at my present moment right now, and I make sure that every single day I'm doing stuff that's going to help me move closer to experiencing and living that dream day. And I use it to evaluate opportunities. I use it to evaluate, is it helping me get closer to living my dream day? And I remember hearing a quote a long time ago, is do something every single day that your future self will thank you for. And so I challenge people, like, when you know where you're headed and you know what you want to create, now you just set goals based on moving you towards that. And that's really how I've done it. And there's a lot of different things, you can talk about SMART goals and making sure it's specific and measurable, and go through that acronym and whatnot. And that's important as well too. And so I do encourage people, if they're struggling on how to set goals, go, just Google that. You'll find a wealth of information on setting specific goals. I like to look at it more as a broader picture, because as you said, so many people, they attach the goal as like, that's the destination. That's it. That's the final point. And really, I look at it as that's just a stepping stone to get me towards living that dream day of what that looks like. And for every single person, your dream day is going to be a unique experience that's customized and personal to you.
Right, right, Phoebe. Let's come to the workplaces now. Uh, you are an entrepreneur. You have worked in corporate life, a network marketer, and you got great recognition from your company. In terms of quitting, now there is this whole great resignation and quiet quitting going on. So in terms of quitting, how do we calibrate that, never quit on a bad day, uh, to finding the good life for yourself, your dream day? How do you look at that? Because people have compulsions, but they also want to live the life that they want, and it mostly happens on a bad day when you have a difficult time with your boss or whoever it is in the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a big piece of it, again, is knowing where you're headed. You'll hear me say that over and over again because it's so important. If you're doing something right now that isn't helping you move towards your ultimate dream day goals that you want to accomplish, then you might want to consider that, right? Again, it's not saying don't ever quit something. Of course, we're going to quit stuff. There's going to be lifestyle and choices that are not serving you that you need to quit. Relationships, if it's not helping you grow into the person you want to be, then you might want to reconsider that. So so there are times when it is important to quit. And so you have to, that's a personal decision for every single person. I mean, I share my story of when I retired from professional soccer and why I decided at that time. The key was I didn't quit on emotional. I didn't quit after a game being like, I'm done with the sport. It wasn't that. It was when I looked again, looking forward at my life, I realized that I was ready to start the next chapter of my life. I was ready. I wanted to, I was looking at being an entrepreneur full time and what that looked like. I realized I wanted to be more present for my friends and family because I missed a lot of things while I was playing soccer. And that's okay at that time. But at that moment, I realized that it was time for a shift. And I did it from a place of peace. I felt comfortable and confident in my decision at that time. And so I go through some of those things in the book in terms of thinking, when is the time to evaluate it? And it really is, there's a lot of factors. It's a personal decision for everyone. I just encourage people to do it on a good day, right? If you're having a frustrated day with your boss, that may not be the time to have that conversation with them. Sleep on it. Have some time of reflection. Have some time of gratitude, right? That's another thing that's so important for people, especially when you're navigating tough times, is find moments and things you can be grateful for. It can be the smallest little thing, but when you find that, it's going to shift your perspective. And by shifting that perspective, then you can make a decision from a place of positivity, a place of gratitude, a place of peace versus making those decisions when you're just in a frustrated place.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is much to learn about all these things, Phoebe, and what more to get hold of your book. So, what is the best way for people to buy your book, and also for people who want to learn more from you, be
Absolutely.
professionally engaged with you? What's the best way for that?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love for people to head over to my website. If you go to neverquitonabadday.com, that's the best place that you can connect with me there. And then we have our Instagram, which is Never Quit on a Bad Day, Facebook, Never Quit on a Bad Day. And then the book and the workbook are both available on Amazon. So it's just Never Quit on a Bad Day. You have the book version. I'll just hold this up for people watching. So you have the book
Just,
version, Inspiring
just hold
Stories.
on. Let me have a look at it. Well, yes.
There you go. So that's the book, Inspiring Stories of Resilience. It's available in color and black and white. And then there's also the workbook. So this is the one that's going to help you in terms of creating that perfect day. And both of these are available on Amazon.
Wonderful, wonderful. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much, AJ. It's an absolute pleasure. And I'm really grateful to be here.